Oh, is my math right?
Your math right.
Okay, say it.
It's right without the C.
Tell me. Say, LJ, your math is right.
Your math is right.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, LJ Young, the founder of SMD. One second here. And I'm here to share my gift. All right. My gift is the ability to see negative numbers psychologically. All right. That is the gift, as my gift that I'm here to share with you and all the SMD family members. And if you're new to the channel and you heard me say that and it doesn't mean anything to you, I always like to give you an example so you can kind of get it. Okay. All right. If you believe you're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage, right? Open up your calculator app and put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and then hit equal. All right. As you're looking at the calculator, I just want you to listen to the sound of my voice. The reason why you believe you're a homeowner is because you cannot see negative numbers psychologically. You can obviously see them physically because you're looking at your calculator now. Okay, that's what I mean. So, how do I know this is a gift? You're probably thinking, well, why would you call that a gift? Or, what makes it a gift? All right, I'll tell you. All right. If the majority could see negative numbers, student loan debt wouldn't exist. How do I know this? Because I don't have student loan debt. If the majority could see negative numbers psychologically, car loan debt wouldn't exist. How do I know this? Because I don't have no car loan debt. Credit card debt wouldn't exist. Why? Because I don't know credit card debt. That would disrupt the whole economy. I don't want that to happen. I'm just sharing something with you guys so you can get it, right? I don't want that to happen because in order for the capitalist economy to work, the majority must be debt slaves. That's a fact. I don't want to change that. It is what it is. And the wonderful thing about this economy is it's all by choice. You either choose to trust the calculator or you don't. That's totally up to you. If you want to believe if you want to believe stuff exists mathematically and financially outside the laws of mathematics, that's your problem. All right. It's not really an argument. All right. So that's what I do. And I involve personal finances only. Okay. No business finances. I'm only about the business of you. Because if you don't own yourself, you can't own anything outside of yourself. That's a fact. That goes for 100% for business, everything, right? I help you own yourself by owning everything, owning your house, having no debt. Now the business of you is ready to own a business outside of you, right? Now, the same people that are in the debt matrix, they're in the debt matrix on the business side too. If they the same people that believe, they can own I don't want you to be impressed by people that owning businesses. It doesn't matter. The business owns them if they have loans. Okay, they don't own anything. They don't know that. But the same people that do that, they believe they own homes personally with mortgages, refinancing mortgages, with student loan debt, all that good stuff. They carry those same habits over to business. They now believe that they own a business that they had to get a loan to get. They believe they own that too. That's important. All of that is important. Okay, that's all goes according. Without them believing that, our economy could not exist, nor could Canada's economy. It's all the same. If it's capitalist, it's all the same, just different pieces of worthless paper. You go to Canada, Canada says, "Hey, we use this kind of paper here." I'm like, "Cool, all right, whatever. It's different colors. I don't care. It really doesn't matter as long as it's capitalist." And then I come back to the United States. The United States says, "Hey, we use green pieces of paper. This is what we use here." All right, cool. All right. Our taxes go this way. All right, cool. Same thing. You go back to Canada. Hey, our tax system is this way. All right, whatever. I don't care as long as the majority are in debt. That's how it works. And it's all by choice. If you believe you own something that you didn't even have the money to buy, that's your problem. Does the calculator say that? No, then if you believe whatever outside the calculator, that's called when you believe things that are not mathematically true, that means you live in the debt matrix. That's where that happens. Inside the debt matrix, nothing makes mathematical sense at all. Nothing. That's where people finance everything that goes down in value, and they finance taxes too, because you gotta remember, debt slaves have no money. They finance everything. So if they don't have no money for the product, they don't have no money to pay the taxes. So yes, they are financing taxes too. They don't know that. That's very important that they don't know that. Okay? Debt slaves don't know that they're financing taxes. They don't know that you can't buy a house while having student loan debt. They don't know that you can't put away money into retirement while having student loan debt. You cannot do that. Them not knowing this is important. Okay, that's very important for them to believe. Because if they didn't believe what they believe, the housing market would not exist. You know why? Because it couldn't. If they all woke up and say, "Hey, wait a minute, we don't own anything if we don't have the money to buy the house," nope, they'd be like, "Holy crap, we can't have that. That cannot happen. That cannot happen." Nor do I want that to happen. And you're probably thinking, well, why are you talking like this? Because I'm here. Because everybody, it doesn't matter what side of if you're wealthy, poor, it doesn't matter. We're all human. That means we all die. There must be just like debt slaves need to reproduce to keep replacing debt slaves. There need to be people to replace that understand how money really works. The same thing. It's just less of those people are needed. Because without debt slaves, none of this could work. If it wasn't for you guys financing things that go down in value, none of this would work. What's up, Fudman, Aaron, Mike Rambo, first one in the room. Lessons burned. What's going on? Fudman says, "Is it true that 75% of Caucasian family live in houses they own?" Uh, this is what I say, Fudman, so you don't get caught up in that white, black, all that stuff. You want to concentrate on the. I mean, you can concentrate on the percentage of. It's like this. Do white people know? Do more white people know, or do more white people have the ability to see negative numbers psychologically? Yes, that's probably true. Okay, and it is what it is, right? But you should concentrate more on just like how many people you think know this information that I'm sharing today. Because it doesn't matter if they're black, white, Chinese. It don't matter. When you get to this level and understand how it really works, you understand that money in you got to remember, no currency in any form exists for debt slaves. None of it. It's none of it, right? The economy for them is psychological, is not physical. Debt slaves don't know that. So it doesn't matter what color you are or whatever, right? Just try to stay away from that. Don't get caught up in that kind of stuff. What you say, Aaron? Today, Anton talked about people going to college for BS degrees, but then he talked about doctors with degrees, and I said that doesn't mean anything because most doctors are in debt, and he came for me. Oh, you know, I mean, think about it, Aaron. You knew when you went over there and said something like that, you knew he's going to come for you, right? Because to people that cannot see negative numbers psychologically, they think you're saying something bad, or you're just speaking the mathematical truth. But you got to remember, they can't see what you're talking about. Even though you could say, hey, whoa, you don't have to come at me like that. Here, let me show you in a calculator, let me show you what I'm talking about. It still won't matter. You do that, you going over there asking for it. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that, man. You look, you see the content, and you know what it is, and you just don't go there. I don't go there. It's just not my, I'm not into gossip, I'm not into stuff, certain things. I'm just not into that. Lesson Burn says, my job had a meeting and they said we have no debt as a company. No employees understood the significance of that. They sure don't. They don't know what debt slaves don't know what that means. And again, that's important. As you guys may have been able to tell by now, I have accepted that the majority must be debt slaves. The majority will die never being able to see negative numbers psychologically. They don't know that the whole economy is psychological. They don't know that lower class, middle class, upper class economies, they don't exist. None of that exists. You can't own a home with a mortgage. You can't do anything with ball. You can't go through your life carrying student loans your entire life thinking you owning something. You can't own nothing because you don't own yourself. Their whole life is a mathematical illusion. They don't know that. It must be that way. It just is what it is. LJ50 was living by your principle. He was laying $800 while having 38 million in the bank. He clearly didn't want any debt. Yeah, 50 cents. I figured, you know what? Sometimes every now and then I'll listen to what stars do with their money, and you can tell 50 is you could tell the ones that are doing it right. It's I mean, imagine this knowledge, but you're making millions of dollars. I mean, it's totally endless. You can do anything you want. Like when you think about, like, for example, let me give you an example. Bill Gates, okay, he got billions of dollars, right? You got to remember, you got to always look at it like this. Let's bring it down to a regular person. A regular people think $1 million is a lot of money. Okay. This is, I want you guys to understand something. When somebody claims they're a millionaire, you gotta realize you don't really understand what kind of millionaire are you talking about. Are you talking about a millionaire on paper? Are you talking about a millionaire by the business? Are you talking about a millionaire with no debt and $1 million in the bank? Okay, because I want to make sure you guys understand something. There's a clear difference between a millionaire having $1 million in the bank, no debt, and a paid off house. There's a clear difference. Okay. Now, if you're talking about somebody, when we're talking about when people talking about they're a millionaire, but you look at the paperwork, their name's on it and the bank's name's on it. If the bank's name on it, that means they don't own none of that. The bank's name is on there for a reason because they own it. Now, if the person wants to add property that they don't own into their financial portfolios, believing that they own the equity in something that they didn't even have the money to buy, that is their problem. They don't have the money to buy it. They have to borrow the money, and as soon as they borrow the money and use the money to buy the property, now they magically own the equity in something that they didn't have the money to buy. No, you can't do that. That breaks all the laws of mathematics. You know, if I had a paid off house and no debt and $1 million in the bank, I would never work again. I would never work again in my life. I wouldn't have to. And that's just the money just sitting in the bank, not invested in anything, just sitting there. I would never have to work another day in my life, invested in nothing. Because what most of you debt slaves don't know, you know what the best investment there is? A paid off house. There is no better investment than that. A paid off house. You're probably thinking, well, how? Why? I'll make it really simple. You pay you get a mortgage, you pay your house off fast. Guess what? You just eliminated the largest expense that you would have had your whole entire life. You just eliminated it in your 30s. Imagine if you got a mortgage in your 30s, you know, late 20s, 30s, and you paid it off by like say like you got the mortgage in your late 20s and you paid that bad boy off by your mid 30s. You will have just eliminated your largest expense for the rest of your life. So while millions of people thinking that rent and or mortgage is just part of life, you will have just showed yourself that's not true. That's what debt slaves believe. Okay, that is not true. If there's a legitimate research which states Caucasians do better with home ownership, ethnicity, color has nothing to do with it. Exactly. It's just, when you guys understand how money works and you really understand that no currency exists for debt slaves, you're going to stop looking at color and thinking it has something to do with where you live, where you grew up. Nope. Do you trust a calculator? Yes. That's how you're going to create wealth. True wealth is owning the time in your life. There's nothing that trumps that. Money doesn't trump that. You're gonna die one day. Do you own the time of your life? Add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt and hit the equal. Does it look like you own the time in your life? When you look at the calculator, doing the calculation that I just said, what's that? Does that number look like you own yourself? You know what that number says? Until you pay back the businesses all that money, you will never own yourself. You will never own you, ever. So if you don't, whether you know that, listen, whether you know this or not is irrelevant. Long as you understand that you go try to own something, a business, and you don't even own yourself, the banks are going to financially abuse you. And people like me that are good in business and with it, because it's nothing personal, it's just business. Okay, if you don't know, that's your problem. They're going to financially abuse you. They're gonna financially abuse you because you don't know. You're out here trying to own something that you own, and you don't even own yourself. If it was in that situation, they call me Black Warren Buffett. Yeah, they. I want you, and and not even talking shit. I want you guys to understand what level they're gonna put me at. They're gonna call me the black Albert Einstein. All these fancy names because I know something that millions of dead slaves don't know. Right? They're gonna, and I'm just telling you right now. So when you guys start hearing that kind of stuff, I just trust a calculator. That's it. It's nothing spectacular. I'm not some genius. No, I just trust a calculator. That's it. When I hit equal, I believe it. That's it. What's up, Freedom Queen? Hello. Hello, SMDLJ. I know you shared this before. And can you share again a bit more what it looks like to own yourself in terms of what the benefits are? It's such a fabulous topic. That is a great question. That is a great question. I'm gonna explain to you what it's like to own yourself. Okay. First, your whole entire dating life will change. Why? Because you'll only date people that own themselves. It would be 100% pointless to date a person that doesn't own themselves. That would be a total waste of your time. So you have just eliminated like 95% of the bad people, because the majority of people are in debt. They don't even own themselves and don't even know it. You're not going to waste your time with that. So that you eliminated just having kids with the wrong people and divorce court and splitting up all your property and all this other stuff. You just eliminated 95% of that. You're gonna be the only person you're gonna start dating is a person that at least owns themselves, and then you guys can start dating to see other traits, because it doesn't cover everything. I'm just saying the majority of your problems will be gone because your confidence goes through the roof. Your self-esteem and your confidence. Now, I've never been a person that did not have self-esteem or confidence. Okay. All right. But this is just like 200 times it. Why? You're probably thinking, well, why? Because you're not going to care the opinions of debt slaves. Once you own yourself and you know for a fact they don't, so when they call you names or they said you're wrong or you're stupid or you won't really care, because you know they're debt slaves. They're saying things that don't make any mathematical sense and they're mad about it. It doesn't matter. They live in the debt matrix. All of that eliminates. That's just gone, right? You just then when you walk around in the world and you see how much advertised stuff is shoved down their throat, every debt slaves are sold stuff 24 hours a day. It's nonstop. It never stops. When you're in it, you don't really realize it, right? Once you step out of it, you're like, damn, that's a lot. It's a lot. All of that becomes quiet because you don't pay attention to that anymore. It's eliminated. It's like I always like to use this example. Like you ever been in a building, right? There's a humming sound of the air conditioner running all the time. You kind of get used to it. It becomes background noise, right? And as soon as the air conditioner shuts off, it gets this new kind of quiet. That's how it is. You don't pay attention to TV commercials no more, or sales, or the signs that you drive down the road, or people stuff on their cars. I mean, it's everywhere. You don't even see that anymore. Okay, so now it's quiet. Now you know how to, when you decide to open a business, now you know how to pick your financial team. You only hire people in the areas that you need them, especially when to do with your money. They have to be debt free personally. You don't hire an accountant that doesn't own themselves. That's wrong. You don't hire a tax person, a professional tax preparer, and they're in personal debt. Nope, you don't hire them. No, sir. They got to be debt free. They got to understand the rules. You find each person in it, like whenever. I mean, just like anything you looking for, somebody who's a professional in it and they're personally debt free. This is the reason why, because you know whatever they're doing. Because people that are debt free, they do what they love. They don't do what they have to anymore. Because debt slaves are working at jobs they hate because they have to. They're in debt, right? That's what debt slaves do, right? But when you own yourself, you work at a place that you like. You like it because but you're gonna use this as a tool to build your own, but you're gonna have to earn some money, so you're gonna work at a place you like, not you don't like. Your whole attitude's different, and the place you're gonna know that they're there. They're doing this business because they want to do it. So you're gonna get excellent service. Whatever they're charging, like with the guy that I found, whatever he's charging, he's worth it. He's personally debt free. That's all I need to know. He understands the rules. He understands I know the rules. No cheating, no tax evasion, no hiding money. Don't no more pretending that accounts didn't exist. I didn't get my super chat money. You don't do none of that. You say, hey, this is everything. Because once you create a successful business, you don't pay your taxes no more. Your customers do. They pay them for you. Everything is just changed, Freedom Queen. I mean, just I can go on. The list is on and on and on and on. And I always say this too. I always say this honestly. I think if more women have this information, a woman would be just totally dangerous. I mean, just like because you combine a woman that say like this, a woman that learns this information, and you already know men are trained to do anything to get the box and buy fancy cars and jewelry and all this other stuff, just anything to attract the box, whatever they think, right? But then you have a woman that understands how this works. She will see dudes like roll up in because dudes love to show off in cars, but they're making car payments. She's gonna know right away they have no money. Why? They're making car payments. It doesn't matter what the car looks like. The car doesn't it doesn't mean if he's making car payments, that mean everything you see on him, this jewelry, the shoes, the whatever, you go into the restaurant, you know it's financed because he's making car payments. They won't even understand a woman like that. "Nah, how come we can't date?" I mean, you can't tell a dude, "Hey, man, because 'cause you're making car payments, he ain't gonna get it." He's not gonna get it. So you just gotta kill that off. They're like, "Damn, man, she just stopped dating me for no because you couldn't explain it to him." That'd be man. Dudes wouldn't even have a chance because they think it's normal to do stuff like that. What's up, Sewer Rat? You still have to pay property taxes for life. Yeah, yeah. But again, Super Rat, when you own yourself, you create a successful business with many, many customers, and guess what? You're not paying your taxes. Your customers are paying them for you for life. Yes, for life. That's true, but you're not paying them. Your customers are paying them. And I want you to, I want you to like with debt slaves, they always do this. They always say, "Hey, man, you never really own a home anyway because you still have to pay taxes, and if you don't pay your taxes, they can take it away." Yeah, that's true. That is true. Right, right. They always say, "What?" This is what they won't understand. Then, if you know you're never gonna actually own the home because of taxes, why are you financing it for 30 years? Why are you doing that? If you know, and this is called a glitch in the debt matrix because they won't be able to answer this question, all right? You go like this. If you never truly own your home, why are you financing this house for 30 years? Why are you financing something that you're never going to own and you're doing it for 30 years? Why are you doing that? They will not be able to have an answer. That's a glitch in the debt matrix. There is no answer for that. They don't understand how taxes work. They can't. They're in debt. You cannot, if you're in, I don't want to make sure this is clear. There is no way, I don't care what school you went to, I don't care how long you've been in the tax business, you can never fully understand how taxes work if you're in personal debt. You can't. That's impossible. You can't. I gave the dating advice to one of my employees who's good at saving up his money. Okay. Oh yeah. That's what some people do this naturally. They don't really understand it's a superpower, right? What's up, Willie? All right, I'm always listening in the background. I come in for the dose of freedom talk. It keeps me grounded. Appreciate it very much. Somebody told me the other day, they said it's like this, Linnell, I bet you got more silent listeners than the talk. And I believe that. I got a lot of silent listeners. I do. Every now and then they'll reach out to me out of nowhere. They'll say something to me, tell me how I changed their life, and send me a Cash App donation out of nowhere, man. Hey, man, you don't know me. I've never said anything to you, but you've changed my life. Here's some money. You know what? That's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Freedom Queen says the dating info you shared, facts, maybe someone in SMD could kick up events for SMD debt-free participants. I think, you know what? That would be the future for sure, Freedom Queen. Because you know as well as I know, you know how hard that is? Do you realize how small your dating pool is going to be? You understand this. It's going to be very small. But it's going to save you so much heartache, breakup. I mean, breakups, yeah, they're hurtful, but they're expensive. People don't really, debt slaves don't really understand that. When you break up, you've been with somebody and you guys break up, yeah, you're so concentrated on why the person fucked around or whatever, right? They do all that, but they don't really understand the cost of it. And if it's bad, they got court dates and they got to get lawyers. Do you know how much man, they'll just be digging themselves. You have eliminated all that. All you got to do is own yourself. That is eliminated. Because you will never date. You most definitely will never legally tie yourself to a debt slave or to a person that doesn't own themselves. And you most definitely would not procreate with a person that doesn't own themselves. You would never do that. Legally and biologically tie yourself to it. Oh man. I remember back when I was in court doing that kind of stuff, man. Now remember, I'm a debt slave at this time, but I remember being in court. Listen, I specifically remember this. I used to I'm standing there with my lawyer on one side, she's on the other side with her lawyer, and I'm looking at the judge. Now I'm having a conversation in my head by myself. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here. I used to say that to myself. I used to go, man, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm looking at it, the judge up there. I'm like, so this person in this black robe is about to divvy up my paycheck, the paycheck that I work for. They're about to, and it counts on what mood this person in the black robe is. Maybe they had a bad day. Maybe they're fighting with their husband or their wife, and the kids are giving them. The judge is still a person, and maybe that day is bad for him. Who knows, man? But what I think about it, you know what? I put myself there. That's why I wasn't supposed to be there. Now, had I been debt free, had I owned myself, I would never have been in the court ever. That would have never been me ever. That would have never been me ever. I wouldn't have had kids by two women and the wrong women I'm not with. That would have never happened. None of it would have happened. Now, in my journey, those things were supposed to happen, so in order for me to be here to share with you today. See what I'm that's why it was okay for me. But if I can reach a young person in their 20s, they ain't got no kids, and they ain't really started life. If I can catch them at this age right now, oh man, I just changed their whole entire life. They will never have to experience what I experienced. Never have to experience a judge tallying up your check and telling you what you spend and wasting on lawyers deep in debt with it. So they trying to get every dollar they can out of you. It's all business. It's all business. All business. I would have never been there. Back when I was saying that, I was not supposed to be there. But I didn't know how to answer that question. I mean, it wasn't even a question. I just said that to myself. I'm not supposed to be here, man. I'm not supposed to be here. That was the worst, man. You gotta fill out all that paperwork. You gotta write down what you spend, what you don't, how much you check is this and all the man. And I'm thinking to myself, why am I writing down all my debts and bills? They're just gonna look at the gross pay and just go from there. And you gotta understand, when they go by your gross pay, they're going by pay that's not even taxed yet. You understand that? How much you make gross? Okay, this is our equation based on your gross pay. Well, you can't say, wait a minute. That's before taxes. But you don't know to ask that question when you're in debt. You don't know to say, "Hey, man, why you guys going by gross pay? That's not what I bring home." What's up, Andre? Now I do these Q&A Sundays to help you guys for free. Cause I used to help people for free, man. You guys took a lot of people took advantage of that, okay? I was like, "Whoa, hey, yeah, I gotta slow that up. You coming here for a reason. Okay, I gotta start charging, just the serious people." Now I'm gonna put this link in here in the chat. It's 35 minutes in. If we don't get people participating, we're gonna end this in an hour. And if you're new to the channel, get some new people up here, that may have never talked before, maybe want to ask me a question, have been following me for a couple years. Because usually I've been noticing it's been about 2 years. I'll have a silent listener for 2 years and they finally come in and say something after 2 years, you know. And that's cool, man. Hey, long as you follow, I don't care if you're silent. I don't care if you're vocal. If I've changed your life, let me know. It helps me, and I appreciate the emails uh telling me, I feel good that you took the time to write to me to tell me what I did for your life without even me knowing it, right? Just by doing my videos and stuff. So if you got any questions, maybe you got some questions of me, maybe not just, finance questions. Maybe there's more detailed stuff you want to know, ask me, like along my journey, right? Because most of you guys don't know that I was a six-figure earning college educated computer engineer making six figures, right? That was me, and that was considered when in the debt matrix people call it a high valued man, right? But I was nothing more than a high valued slave, debt slave, that is. Because I was double that in debt, double my salary in debt. That means I was owned. I didn't own anything. And I was thinking about this the other day. In the background, they do a lot of buying and selling of the debt you're owed, right? That you owe. That means literally they're buying and selling you. That's what it really is. They're buying and sell. If they're buying and selling your debt on the back end and wrapping it up in securities and all this stuff, they're buying and selling. They're packaging you. They're selling you. It's psychological. They're not physically selling you, but they're selling you. And it's just business. It really is. It's just business. It's your choice. You are choosing to get bought and sold. If you believe you're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage, you're choosing that. If you think you can invest in your retirement while having student loan debt, you are choosing that. If you are one of the people that decide to keep your student loans, go to college for 4 years, keep your student loans for 30, you're choosing that. You're choosing to be a debt slave. You're choosing to be bought and sold, choosing it. I used to sit and listen quietly to the SMD info, but it has been so helpful and useful till it's it's difficult now because I want people who are searching for something to know this info can be practical. Yeah, you're in that stage that I mean, and remember, for your own sanity, Freedom Queen, listen. You can tell the people that are ready for the information, right? Because you'll know the type of questions they are asking. You'll know. And you'll know by their question. You'll know if they're asking you something to argue with you, or you can tell if they're genuinely wanting to know, right? By their question. Hold on, you guys. And when they genuinely want to know, go ahead and share the information with you, but share them with them. But when you know they're not, for your own sanity, for your own disappointment or anger, just don't shit. Just go, okay. Just go, okay. Because I had somebody writing today on yesterday's video. They clearly was just writing just to argue with me. So I just go, okay, whatever you believe. They're just, and you really think about it, they're just sharing their beliefs with me. He was just, whoever this person was, just sharing their beliefs with me. Okay, whatever. It's cool. I mean, I don't care what you believe. That's totally up to you. And that's what I'm here doing. I'm just here to share. But in the process, I'm changing people's lives. And this is what's really crazy to me, right? The majority of people don't know that I can give them the blueprint to their personal finances today. I can help them skip so much trouble right now. I can help them I can just lay it out. Hey, just do this right here. Just do this. Change their life forever. And people still hesitate. It's bananas to me. It's really bananas. It really, and don't get me wrong, I get it. Because here I am saying something that you've never heard before. All the math is right, but it still doesn't click. I totally get it. Because I've had my brother, he was still, and I love it. He knows I love him. He still was. It took him a year to really just grasp on, but he finally did. I was talking to him and talking to him, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, he's not really communicating with me back on the DMs and text messages. I said, okay, well, he just doesn't want to hear it, so I just stopped. Next thing you know, a year later, 8 months to a year, hey man, okay, I'm ready. All right, we did it. But to walk around with this like virtually in my pocket and just knowing I could just look at somebody and say, hey man, I could change your life. I could change your life, and I can show you I could change your life. People just don't wanna hear it, especially right now, okay? These are really rough times right now. People ain't looking like, "Hey, this is a good time to get out of debt." I know that, okay? Because they got no jobs. They're just worrying about how they're gonna pay their rent. They're not thinking about getting out of debt. I get it. But what they don't know is that, "Hey, man, I just wanna go, hey, I can help you never have this situation again." Do you know that? I can show you something that whatever the economy is doing, it will never affect you like this again, ever. I can show you how to do that. You know how powerful that is? That is a superpower, a complete superpower. This is why I continue to do this every Sunday. We got 15 minutes. All right. That's why I do this every Sunday because I know I'm still reaching people. Don't get me wrong. I'm still reaching people. I don't want you guys like, especially the younger you are, because social media is very powerful tool if you know how to use it right. So I don't want you to get caught up in somebody's channel just because they got a million followers and you go in there and they got thousands of people in their lives and they're making so much money in super chat. Let me tell you something. If it's just gossip, it don't mean shit. It don't mean nothing. Don't think that's like that's like a temporary thing. Can you imagine how that's gotta be a lot of work? Like, if you're a gossip person, right, that's a lot of work because you gotta stay wrapped up in the bullshit to stay relevant because there's so many of them out there doing the same thing. You guys just don't realize. There's a whole bunch of them. So if somebody shut down in their website or they wasn't gonna do it anymore, they would be forgotten about in a week, and the people would just move on to the next big gossip person. But if you want something that's gonna I create content that's gonna change your life. Like everything I create today will always be relevant. Always. I don't have to keep up with anything because math never changes. I wouldn't want to be caught up in that. That's bananas, man. That is bananas to have that. I so anyway, the younger you are, I don't want you guys getting caught up. Don't get caught up in subscribers. Don't get caught up in views. I would say pay attention more to actual like likes. Okay, likes. Because like when I go to a channel, and you got to remember they all do the same thing. Hey, as soon as you click on it, as soon as they start, hey, they hit the like button on the way in. It's like, wait a minute, I don't even know if I like until the video plays. I don't know if I'm gonna like this video. You ain't gonna tell me to like something, and you ain't even did anything yet. That's just me. That's what I do. I don't like just because they telling me to like something. I'm not liking anything until I watch the video. If I like the video, then I like it. Or this will blow me away, and it's not about the person who it is. I'm just showing you something. I remember one time I was watching this dude, and since there wasn't not a lot of likes in the video, he put the shit on intermission. I was like, what? I was like, huh? Hold up. We gonna stare at this thing until we hit the like button because you said so, and then that's when you gonna start the show. No, I was out of there. I left. I've never been back. Ain't nobody will tell me to like something if I don't even know I don't like. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not a follower. When I get likes on this, the genuine likes. The content I produce, it moves you. Like when I watch some videos that move me, I never forget to hit that like button. I never do. I still have to come to grips often with putting fear in its place, which is a way so I can continue to efficiently use my current job for the two. Well, this is also too. You got to remember this, Freedom Queen. Fear is not meant to be ran from. Fear is showing you the way. See, when you're in the debt matrix, they've taught you to how to they taught us how to look at fear wrong. Well, they didn't tell us anything. Debt slaves do that. Fear is not your enemy. It's saying, hey, look, this right here needs to be removed. We need to go over here. This needs to happen this way. It's like, hey, don't run from me. I'm trying to show you something. If you come to me and let me show you, I'll show you how wonderful it is on the other side. I'll show you that. But everybody runs from fear every time. And I'm gonna tell you guys this now. Every time a fear pops up in my life, I turn towards say, hey, why are you here? What you trying to show me? I look right at it. Okay, you're here for a reason. You're here for a reason. Okay, what are you here for? So I just listen to it. And every time that I've done that, it's always been better on the other side of fear. Once once I figure out what fear was trying to tell me, guess what? It's gone. It's actually it leaves. It's like, hey, okay, you listened. All right, I'm out of here. See ya. Don't don't look at fear as a scary thing. You just turn around and say, hey, why you here? And then it's gonna answer you. Oh, I'm glad you asked. Here, let me show you. But what the normal people do, they see the fear and then they run. Fear's like, hey, where you going? Okay, I'll be here when you get back because they ain't going nowhere. It's gonna stay right there. It's gonna watch you do all the avoidance things to pretend like it's not there. It's just gonna stand there until one day you have to turn to it because it doesn't leave until you talk to it. Yeah, you're right. Gossip channels equal subscribers wasting time listening to foolery. Exactly. And I know this is weird to you guys, but listen, for the economy, gossip channels are important. It keeps you guys busy. It keeps you guys thinking about other people's lives besides your own. You keep you concentrated on like these other people, like they're somehow different than you because they got more money than you. They're just regular people like you. You just think it's different because they got more money, which it means nothing. It doesn't mean anything how much money they got. They're just like you. And if you're concentrated on them, that means you're not concentrated on yourself. That's how it works. That's important. So gossip channels are important. If they can keep you busy and keep thousands of people busy on bullshit, hey, whatever. They stay debt slaves. They stay. What's up, Layman? What's going on, sir? This system is beautiful. How it all works. People wasting their time on stuff that don't make any sense. None. Makes no sense. Who cares what they're doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? When that guy goes off, whoever you're watching, the go man or woman goes off after the show's over. What are you doing with your life? You're back at your own life, right? What's changed? Just another hour or two wasted talking about things that everybody can have an opinion on. That means it's never going to end ever. What's up, Dorian? Man, I was just watching your video on the woman that almost $1 million in asset. I mean, loans. Exactly. Crazy. Bro, I just can't imagine how many years it would take just for her to be free at almost 40 plus of age. Exactly. She doesn't know that. Hey, I'm gonna live virtually tax free. You can't say, hey, Sylvia, yeah. Do you know it's 100% impossible to save money on taxes when you're in debt? Do you know that? That's impossible. You can't do that. You think she would hear me? She wouldn't even hear a word I said. People in debt, you cannot save money on taxes. You can't. That's a trick on you. But at the same time, I want you to understand the videos like that, those videos are important. They encourage slaves to do what she did. Hey, look what she did. That's what that video says. Hey, look, and she's smiling, and look where she lives, and she's so happy. She's gaining all these properties, and then other debt slaves see that without using the calculator, and they do the exact same thing she does, and think they're getting ahead. They're not getting ahead. They're part of the system. This is why no currency at all exists for debt slaves. Once you get out of debt matrix, you're going to understand that. Debt slaves like gold because it's shiny. They think it means something. It don't mean anything. Nothing. They got them believing in. Check this out. Those are physical currencies that don't exist for debt slaves. Imagine what they can do with currency that doesn't exist, like Bitcoin. Hey, Bitcoin's up to $61,000. It says who? Google? Who's saying that? Where's that number? Where's those numbers coming from? Who said that? Debt slaves don't know to ask those questions. Why is that going up? Who put those numbers out there? Google? Nobody said, hey, Google, where you getting your information from? Google, where you getting your information from? The banks. Debt slaves could not function without banks' involvement. They cannot function. You guys, debt slaves, you guys couldn't survive without credit cards. If they shut off everybody's credit card right now, if they just said, hey, everybody's credit cards shut down right now, the whole economy would stop. Do you understand that? The 90% of the transactions that happen on Amazon, they would cease. All the machines would stop because there would be no more. 90% of the transactions would stop. They're all based on credit cards. Debt slaves that got no money. Now, if that happened to a person with money, you know what a person with money would do? Oh, let me just pull out my debit card and enter that instead of the credit card. Okay, cool. And then business will go on. But for debt slaves, everything was, I don't want that. I would never want that ever. Life tip: never share sensitive info with one who is entertained by gossip. Yeah, they'll fail to acknowledge the sensitivity of your info and they'll spread your info. How come? What'd you say? Of course, and they'll spread your info. How come? Because they like gossip. They do. The whole video, that the perfect setup for people to do the same thing she did. Yep, to the positive music. Yeah, sure was a lot of positive music, upbeat music, and her upbeat attitude only added fuel to the fire. And that she was she was a lawyer, so they can say, this is what debt slaves, this is why they put stuff like that. So debt slaves say, look, she's a lawyer, she's smart. So what she's doing has to be smart because she's a lawyer, she's smart. And now the people that believe it will do the same thing. They know how to put the people up, so they'll make it believable. Debt slaves don't understand it has nothing to do with your career. Nothing. It don't have anything to do with that. I can see why corporations like Apple, Google, and Amazon are winning so much. They have financiers in place that think just like you. Oh yeah, you better believe, Dorian. In companies like that, they have a place for me. Apple, Google, Amazon. Once they hear me, they have a place for me. Could it be, whether it be training some of their higher ups to understand how money really works, or some particular employees in a particular area? It Because you guys don't really understand. Imagine, put it this way: imagine Apple getting a bunch of employees who are debt free. Okay, so that Apple would automatically know if the person is working there and they are debt free, they are there because they want to work for Apple. They're not there because they have to work for Apple. They got to get a job and they're barely surviving. They are there because they want to be there. Can you imagine having a whole crew of people working for your company and they want to be there? Oh man, your productivity will go through the roof. Would go through the roof. You better believe, like, to in order for Amazon to be that big, they have to have people that understand money like me. They have to. Now, when I say money like me, I mean there's totally different levels or whatever, right? But the base is this. Are you personally debt free? Yeah. Do you own yourself, the business of you? Yes. All right. Come on. Come on in. We'll show you the rest. I've been investing in some of my freedom time into developing skills and talents that I'm now much more in tuned yet with and enjoy. Exactly. See what I'm saying? Freedom Queen. That's how it happens. And then when you do and master whatever you're going to do, you're going to master it, right? And you're going to do it because you love it, and they're going to see it, and then you make sure you charge it accordingly. You charge your prices accordingly. If they say that's expensive, you say that's expensive for you. Whenever you hear somebody say something is expensive, they're talking about themselves. Because just because you point at a $38,000 car, right? And you say, "Whoa, that's expensive," according to who? Somebody that has millions of dollars. 30,000 ain't nothing. So never say that. When you go somewhere, never go somewhere and say, "Ooh, that's expensive." Not even to yourself. Don't ever say that. The universe hears what you say. The universe doesn't say, I wonder if that person really meant that or not when they said that. If you think something expensive, the universe is going to grant you, hey, you can't have that. Why? You think it's too expensive. You just told me that. Oh, trust me, when you blow up, they are definitely going to come after you for some consulting. Oh yeah, for sure, Dorian. But by that time, it's going to be very, very expensive. Very expensive. For me to bring me on shows, it's going to be very expensive. Tours, all that. It's going to be, you better give me while I'm cheap. Give me while I'm cheap. Does the income eventually flow the work that goes into developing? Yes, it does. It naturally flows to you. It just naturally happens. It does. The direction you're going right now is going to be tough because you're different. All right. Like right now, I'm creating a legacy. In order creating a legacy, it doesn't happen fast. Okay. It's a whole different road. Not many on this type of road. Not many people even think like this, creating a legacy. All they're thinking about is making money, getting that Ferrari, getting the next women or whatever. They don't think about, hey man, I think I might create a legacy. They don't think like that. That's my road. Once you create that, once I hit whatever it's gonna hit, then I'm gonna be above everybody financially. It's like think about it like this. When you look and see how many subscribers uh uh Dave Ramsey has, right? Now there's some gossip people out there with triple that, right? But do you think they got more money than Dave Ramsey? You better That's not true. No, they don't. Guarantee you they don't. I bet you their income's nowhere near Dave Ramsey's income. Nowhere near. Now, if you go by subscribers, you're gonna be like, "Oh, well, man, so and so gossip site got 5 million subscribers, 6 million, and Dave Ramsey only got 1.5 million." You're gonna automatically assume that they got more money than Dave Ramsey. You'll be highly mistaken. Gabriel says, LJ, that person in the comments in yesterday's video just proves deep. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. His comments, man, it was just like, oh man, you're so condescending. You were wrong. Uh, she's leveraging this and that, and then she said it takes you use other people's money. Just the whole program, just running the program. Just that they all say the same thing. Hey, you're supposed to use other people's money to leverage to build wealth and blah blah blah. Just the program, just running the program. Yeah, really? Yeah, I bet you all your friends say that, right? Yeah. You can't get wealthy without using other people's money. Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever, debt slaves. Whatever. That's how you know, Freedom Queen. That's how hey man, pay attention to that. I am just accepting what is. I'm comfortable with what is. Because at first it's very difficult to come on the mic and just be talking like this. But I'm like, wait a minute. Everything I'm saying is mathematically true, right? Yeah. Then why are you hesitant to say it? Because I was caught up in the debt matrix. You start thinking about what other people think and what they might say and blah blah blah. But once you understand it's the mathematical truth, it doesn't matter what they say. Do you guys realize when how long I've been on doing this? I've been saying slaves, debt slaves, all this other nobody fucks with me. Have you noticed that? Now I'm not even asking for it. I'm just saying, I'm just telling you. Oh, you ain't, I don't get those people coming over here. You ain't this and that. You don't know. Hey, I don't get none of that. You know why? Because I have the truth. I got the calculators on my side. That's why I know. That's how I know. And when people say, "Oh man, he always say he's never wrong," well, what I mean by that is that this is what I mean by that. I trust the calculator, and since the calculator's never wrong, that would automatically mean that I'm never wrong. That's what I mean by that never being wrong. As long as I trust the calculator, and I do. All right. Any questions? We are at the hour. We are at the hour mark. Any questions? You're right, Dorian. Nobody wants smoke. Everything is backed by math, and math is never wrong. They don't never want. And again, I'm not asking for it. I'm just showing you guys something. Because you guys know when you go to the gossip and they talk about gossip stuff, and then they do all the stuff in the chat, and then the comments you read through the comments, like 1,000 comments of everybody's opinion on bullshit that don't make no difference to anything, right? But when you start spitting facts and truth, people ain't got nothing to say. What they're really doing is this. They're probably coming and watching the videos and they're reading it and they're really like, "Man, I gotta figure out a way around this dude's math." Because they always call it my math, right? "Oh, your math is wrong." It's like I invented math or something, but it's just they don't know what they're saying, all right? So you kinda just I just ignore that when they call it my math because I don't own math, right? It you just it's just funny, man. I just think it's funny to listen to them try to figure a way around math, not really understanding that there is no way around math. You can't get around math. I like the market, stocks, foreign exchange, and trading, but the margin. Some brokers say you can't trade without it. What's up with that? That's not true. You don't have to trade with margin. I mean, put it this way: once you own yourself, if you want to trade with margin, you can. I'm not saying don't. I mean, if you want to, cool, right? But it's going to be different. You're going to know that you're gambling with borrowed money. Okay, you're going to know that. You're not going to be using margin because you have to because debt slaves, you got to remember, debt slaves have no money. So they have to use margin because they have no money, right? But they don't know why they have to use margin. Because investing means like you would after all your bills are paid and you paid your rent and you bought all the food and the kids' clothes and all this other stuff, right? You have all this other stuff. Now you have extra money to invest in something else, not money that you need to pay your bills to survive. That's not extra money. Most definitely. That's what I figured out. You can most definitely have a cash account for sure. What's up, Dennis? Dennis says it's okay to get a mortgage if it's through a through a business. Yes. Yes. My friend keeps trying to convince me and I keep doing the math for him. When you okay, so when you get a mortgage through a business, that's different because if you are personally debt free and you get a mortgage through a business, taxes are going to help you pay off the mortgage faster. Okay. That's the best. That's as much I can explain about it because I don't really try to get too far outside of. But I tell you, take that to a professional. You say you walk in first, the professional that understands this, whatever this area is, right? They must be personally debt free to get what you're asking them. Okay, they must be personally debt free. If they're not personally debt free, they cannot know. If they have a mortgage, they don't know. Don't ask them. Find a person that's personally debt free and say, "This is what I want to do. I want to get a house or a mortgage under my business name because this guy LJ said the tax structure will be different for me and will help me pay off my house faster." Explain that to me. Margin accounts allow your shares to be borrowed to sell short. Okay, margin accounts allow your shares to be borrowed. Huh. See, I don't even try to get in all that. When you get out of debt and you hear Andre talk like you start to understand what that really means. Because like I said before, Dennis, I'm not against business debt. Okay, I want to make sure that's clear. I'm not against business debt. I'm just saying once you own the business of yourself first, and then you get out into business and start acquiring business debt, you're going to really understand what that means and how to use it. That's all I'm saying. You'll know. Okay. People, debt slaves get business debt because they have to get business debt because they have no money. They have to get it. They're not leveraging anything but themselves. They think when they borrow money, they think they're leveraging something. They don't know they're just leveraging themselves. Period. Gabriel says there's people out there with no payments like rent or mortgage. Those are actual alien. Yeah, yes, there is. Freedom says that helped because I didn't want the margin really. Yeah, I ain't. I say like this, Freedom Queen. When you talk about investing in the stock market, I strongly suggest you do this. Find a professional who is personally debt free. Okay, They will know something about the market that other people in debt don't because they can't. Find a professional that's personally debt free that does the stock market normally. Just do what they do. That's the person you want. Make you put 20% down on that business mortgage to avoid PMU. The sneak says make sure you put down. Oh, you said it. Oh, to avoid. Oops, there we go. Make sure you put down 20% on that business mortgage to avoid PMI. Yeah. So, and when you do that, when you go get say like this, when you go get a business loan, I don't care what kind of loan it is, just a business loan. First thing you want to know is that what is the best business loan out there that is offered? I don't you don't care what bank it comes from. If it's the best business loan offered on the market, that is the one you want. That is the only one that you will accept. If you cannot get that one, you're not ready for business. If you cannot get the absolute best business loan, it's like when you go get a business loan and they offer you, say, "Hey, we got a business loan for you." You say to the bank person, whoever's telling you, "Is that the best one on the market? Where does that is that the number two, second, third, fourth, fifth? Where does that loan fall? Where does it rank?" "Oh, it ranks probably number four." You say, "How come I didn't get number one?" And then they're going to give you a list of reasons. You take that list of reasons with you when you leave, and then you fix it. And then you come back and say, okay, now I want the best loan. Why? I fixed all these things that you guys said I had to fix. I want the best loan. You come back to the bank with doing that, with that kind of attitude like that, they're going to know you serious and they're going to know you've been talking to somebody. They're going to know that because debt slaves don't do that. They're like, oh, okay, I didn't get the best one. What are my other options? Then they're going to give you some other options for debt slaves. Oh, we got this one over here for people like you that are just first time, whatever, people in debt that don't know. That's what those loans are for. For people with no money that don't know they don't have any money, but yet and they don't even own the business of themselves, but yet they still want to believe that they're going to own a business. They have a special loans for you. And mortgage will give me anxiety to be honest, but I'm gonna buy a house. You know what? Honestly, Gabriel, that would I mean your age, it wouldn't bother me. Okay, you're young enough. It will my age, that would I no. I can't see myself sitting down and signing up for a 300, $450,000 more $400,000 mortgage. I just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Nope, no. No, I'll figure out a way to buy it in cash. I'll figure that out. I'll rather go that route. I'll figure it out. I'm well on my way. I want you guys to watch. I'm well on my way to buying my house in cash. Okay. SMD is going to blow up. It's going to blow up big, very big. Tony Robbins, I hope you're listening. I only look at the top like professional motivational speakers. Tony Robbins seems to be the top, so he's my goal. Tony Robbins. Like, look at me. Like when I think about a person like Tony Robbins, this is what I look at. Look at me as the person between you and Tony Robbins. Okay. Imagine me helping you own yourself because I promise you, once you own yourself, you'll listen differently to speakers like Tony Robbins. You'll hear them totally differently. Own yourself first. I can help you do that. And then you go and listen to Tony Robbins. You're going to be like, holy shit, I can do everything he says. Yes, you can do everything he's saying. Everything. You'll stop looking at his money. You'll stop looking at the places. You'll stop looking at the helicopters. You'll be like, oh my God, look what you'll stop looking and just actually listen to his words. He's just all he's saying over and over again, believe in yourself and you can do the same thing I'm doing right now. Just believe in yourself. The missing piece is that you don't own yourself to believe in yourself. That's the hard part. Because once you own yourself, you'll believe in yourself. And then when you believe in yourself, you'll hear what Tony Robbins saying, and then you'll just take off and do whatever he's telling you to do. I've been practicing a demo account for 7, 8 months, and I would love to find a debt-free professional trader. Yeah, that I mean, you gotta. You know what you're gonna have to do? You're gonna have to ask that question because there is no other way to ask that question. It's not on a legal document. It's not a place you got to walk in and then you got to have the balls in them to say, "Hey, are you personally debt free?" That's gonna be tough. It's tough for a lot of people. It's gonna be very tough for a lot of people. But hey, when you understand it's just business, you're just gonna remove that. You're not gonna care how they feel about it. Are you personally debt free? Oh my God, why are you asking that question? Never mind. Bye. Because you come across the right accountant, the right tax preparer, professional, tax lawyer, whatever, and you say, "Can are you personally debt free?" The right person is gonna say, where did you know that? Who told you to ask that question? Yes. Who told you to ask me that? They're gonna ask you a question. Yes, I am. And who told you to ask me that? Because all the years I've been open in this business, I've had this business open. Nobody has ever asked me that question. Nobody. Because you already know that you're paying more than the original value. Uh, I read Book Awaken, the giant Tony Robbins, and he said he used to work as a janitor and said no more. Yeah. You wait. You guys mark my words. Wait till Tony Robbins hears me. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes me part of his team. And I'm not even that's not I'm not talking shit. I'm just telling you something. Obviously, Tony Robbins can see and hear. Once he hears me, he's gonna know that I know. He's gonna know that I know something millions of people don't. He's gonna know it immediately. I'm calling it out before it happens because I can see it. Like when you hear like people like Tony Robbins, hey man, you got to see your gift and you can see it. And when you're in debt, you don't really understand what, but now I see it. I know exactly where I'm going. I know exactly where I'm going. I don't let anything deter me. I don't care if there's another channel making all this super chat money. That's temporary shit. I know my direction. I'm going for legacy. I couldn't even imagine basing my livelihood based on gossip. I couldn't even imagine doing that. You would have to stay in that world to stay relevant. There is no way in hell, no way. That's a lot of work. Bad energy, all that. Negativity, it's just constant. People's opinions about oh my God, that would be horrible. Say like somebody builds their business based on the gossip stuff, right? And then they wake up and it's like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm tired of this gossip stuff. Well, you can't stop now. You can't stop. Too late. Now you got to stay in it to stay relevant because there's so many people out there doing the same thing they're doing. People might follow them right now today. It'd be forgotten in a week if they went down. I'm telling you. All right. Since there's no questions, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you everybody for participating today. Appreciate it. Those that are asking questions in the chat, much appreciated. Uh, every Sunday, every Q&A Sunday is yeah, you're right, Andre. It does blow your vision for sure. Every Q&A Sunday, I keep it going because I know you guys are in the background, silent. Hopefully one day I can get you guys to come up on the mic. You don't got to get on camera, you know. But just like I want people to tell their stories, right? Maybe I didn't help you directly, but I did help you, by listening, following my words and you changing your life. I think more and more people need to hear that. Just coming to tell you how it changed because I want people to understand it changes more than just owning. I mean, just your financials, right? Just the finance, right? It changed that. It changed your whole life, every aspect of your life. It changes once you own yourself, your whole life is going to change. Your only goal is going to be what? True health, true wealth is owning the time of your life. Once you own yourself, you're going to build your whole entire life business around what can I do to own the most time in my life, if not all of it. You're welcome, Andre. Even that counts, Aaron. That's a good thing. Because I really don't get too many dislikes either. I really don't. If they go up, that means it's going up. That's important. More dislikes. You got to remember all that stuff. Even you, this is what you really got to understand. To hit the like button, that the like button actually does. That's a feeling, right? That makes you do something so bad that you want to hit the like, bad or good. It doesn't matter. So even when they hit the dislike button, the emotion hit them so strong because they can't do anything but down to click they don't comment, right? So they can stay anonymous and hit the dislike button, but they don't really understand that that's important too. That means I'm reaching them still, because if I go to the channel and they say something and doesn't really move me, I don't like it or dislike it, I just leave. I don't say anything, I just leave. But if it hits you that to where you don't like it, something emotionally, and you hit that's important. All right, again, but you guys have a wonderful evening. Until next time, you know, here, let me make sure everybody knows where to find me. If you want a shirt, you can go right there on Shopify. Go to Shopify, type in savings minus debt. I should pop up. I will be the only one. And like I said, sometimes when you might forget. So hit that like button on your way out. Here's my Cash App. Cash App savings minus debt. All right. Cash App savings minus debt. You might got some questions. There you go. My email. And if you want a consultation, right there, talk about it, give you the blueprint to your personal finances, and you be on your way. All you got to do is follow it. And then one day you're going to own yourself. That's how it works. I can give you the blueprint. All right. All right. We got over here. Right. That is funny when they try to make fun of them. All right. Peace out. Thank you, Aaron. Gabriel, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday evening. Until next time.